Blessed are the solitary and elect, for you will find the kingdom. For you are from it, and to it you will return. That's from the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas. And the great Jesus the Christ said those words. So I wanted to definitely talk about that, because blessed are the solitary. How many of you have accepted the challenge and taken up your cross in that solitary journey to really discover self? How much have you eliminated out of the energies that you're feeding yourself with? I can guarantee that there are not many that take up a very solitary path. We're not by nature solitary creatures, but we are by nature solitary in self. And whether or not we are connected, which absolutely we are still very separate entities upon this planet, having our own experience, and that's the beauty of it. That's part of what the ego helps create. And so this whole spiritual movement about getting rid of the ego and all this is very unhealthy. The ego is part of the reason we're here, and it's not to be done away with. It's just simply to become aware of and accept. This is the part that makes you you on this planet. This is the part that is your personality. Personality means mask. So with that ego, it helps that boost of confidence. It helps that walking full of your own power. Absolutely. Many are in the ego, and that's how they operate in this world. The vast majority, I will say, I have not spoken with very many that have a deep awareness and a deep consciousness of simply being. It is such a difference when that happens in the ability to hold space and to speak with other people. But when this does happen, the people that you are able to fully talk with and communicate with, like you used to with friends and anybody you'd speak with, it changes. Because you no longer have any interest in shallow conversations of no depth. There's no longer interest in venting and complaining about others. There's no longer interest in focusing on so many negative aspects. There is a lot more focus on simply being and seeing fully and honoring each other in that space of awareness. And when you can stay inside of yourself because you have that full alignment, this is where the magic happens. And how to express what it feels like if you've not expressed it, that's what all the great spiritual teachers have been trying to teach for thousands of years. To find the heaven within. And it has nothing to do with what is being reflected in the outside world of your experience. It is all internal. And when that alignment and that connection happens through soul retrievals and personal power retrievals and inner child working, your life will shift 100% and you will understand fulfillment. You will not be seeking or feel that need to constantly be consuming, whether it's eating or drinking or scrolling on social media or any other variety of ways that you feel an absolute need to be busy. Even buying things, just constantly buying things, trying to fulfill some hole that we all have inside. That's one of the things that the religions do talk about. That description of heaven and hell, it was just taken so crazy different directions by those Christians. We're not going to go down those roads. Because when we do experience heaven here, it's a full alignment with self, which capital S self is your aspect of being God. And that is a simple explosion of love. That's all that is. Your magical power is love, and it all comes through the heart. And when that happens, your light can shine so brightly to encourage others to shine brightly too. And that's the coolest thing. All you need to do is exist. You don't need to do anything. The whole spiritual healer world is filled with all sorts of fake and all sorts of illusory. And yes, it's fun. It's a blast. It's so much fun to get readings all the time and to have your charts read and just to live your life in your mind through doing these things. Typically, that's what I have observed. And whether this is a right path or a wrong path, there's no determination here, because there cannot be, because it is not my path. But the understanding and the depth that you receive when you accept the lessons in life and to dive deep within to find that true inner healing and to do your own right things by setting boundaries, your own right things by working on that inner child healing, your own right things in researching whatever you need to research, your own right things in spending your time how you feel you need to. There is nothing wrong with that ever. This is your life, remember? No one can take that from you unless you give it away. And why does that happen so often, the giving away of our power? It's a continuous cycle. It starts with our parents, of course. We're born here into separation. We forget where we come from. That's that born into separation from God. And that feels like hell. See where I'm going with this at all? Maybe I might get around to talking more into that. We're born to our parents and we have to adapt or die. So if they're not raising us in the most loving ways, which there's no... It's so hard. Everybody's learning. That's the whole thing. Unless somebody is malicious, which absolutely there are those too. The unconsciousness breeds the worst darkness. When we choose to remain unconscious, when we choose to remain ignorant, when we choose to not change, that's where the most harm is caused to the ones around us. And it's through our own awakening and our own awareness and our own accountability and self-responsibility that we take then for our participation in these relationships. That takes immense courage. And there are not very many that do this. This is a simple observation. And through many conversations with others, you can always see where this emotional age is at in somebody unless you're doing the emotional healing. This is that emotional intelligence, and this comes with alignment with self, connecting our chakras, and really having our inner child within us running the show in a better way. If we don't work with our inner child, we will always have these outbursts and reactions. It's the feeling center is the one that's generating that, is also the playful one, is also the impulsive one. It's like the little wild animal within. If you're neurodivergent, you'll understand that. But when you start to look at that inner child and you start to align and you start to love him or her or them, and you just be with them, that's all you need to do. Pretty soon, the more grace and patience that you give to this part of yourself, the more kindness you show to this part of yourself, the more responsibility that you take for this part of yourself, that's where the magic is at. But there are so many of you that still look outside of yourself, and why? Why? Why are people so afraid to take responsibility? It's not that bad. But to take responsibility for self means to acknowledge all the harm that you also bring into this world. But it's only through that acknowledgement and that honesty with self are you able to make the changes to become a better person. We're always growing every day, and we mess things up on a daily basis often. But that doesn't mean that we're failures. That doesn't mean that we're mistakes. That doesn't mean that anything is wrong with us. Ever. There is nothing wrong with you. You were born perfect. Your spirit is perfect. The personality might not get along with other personalities here, but the fly doesn't like the spider neither. There is no right or wrong. Everybody has their purpose. It's the unconsciousness that is so harmful. And when we continue to just drive ourselves to continue to seek outside of ourselves for the answers that can only be found within, and we allow everybody else to guide us along our path, when we allow certain gurus to just tell us everything we need to know about our lives, when we just continuously get readings in our life and don't take that into the heart, into the wisdom, into your own self, you're constantly going to be chasing. You'll never find those answers. Life isn't meant for that. That's one of the secrets too. Life is meant to slow down a little and to come into spirit right outside in nature. You find peace. You find calm. And you find answers to what you've been seeking for all of your life. And they might not be big aha answers, and that's okay. But they're answers that you need. Stop judging. There is no race to get anywhere. That's a societal program. Let it go. When are you going to choose to grow up? It is a lot more fun to mature, and then you're able to use your inner child in a much more profound and fun way because it is you. And when you're able to view the world through the eyes of a child and to have the curiosity of a child, there is so much magic to be found. The ones that grow into adulthood and continue to be heavy, continue to just complain about everything and everybody around them, the ones that continue to choose to follow these very strict programs in society, these societal rules of certain ways to be if you're a certain class of person or whatnot, with people are just rude, judgmental. When we're choosing to do that, we're not growing. There is no difference in color. There is no difference in gender. There is no difference in sexual orientation. People are people are people. And the most beautiful thing is to watch somebody express their full expression and to encourage them in their journey. Because any form of judgment that you put upon them, anything that you would say to them to judge them, may all the shame be upon you, because that is not your job. Just to let the Christians know, God and Jesus did not assign you to be the watchdogs and the assholes of the world. That's not how it works. You missed the whole message. Maybe the next lifetime you'll get it, or maybe not. It's not my path. Just don't hurt others. We get so many ideas, we get so much energy from others in so many different ways. And it's flippin' wonderful. We might have a conversation, we might see something shared. We might just simply be in a room with somebody, and we don't even have to speak, but our energy is interacting. Your energy tells you who you want to interact with and who you should interact with all the time. Your heart is speaking. And it is incredibly important to be inside of your heart space and out of your brain, out of your mind, those racing thoughts. And use discernment when you're meeting people. Because oftentimes, the truth of the matter and the truth of the goodness of a person for you is not what it will appear to be to begin with. If you allow your logic to kick in, it will always override your feelings. It is a practice to learn how to set boundaries. It's a practice. But the more you practice, the better you get. We're here to learn. There's no shame in that. No shame in making mistakes. You're just learning. That's all it is. I really wish you a wonderful day. And if you would like to talk to me some more, I offer spiritual guidance sessions, energy healing sessions with shamanic healing. And with that, we do soul retrievals, personal power retrievals, cord cuttings, and also extractions of energies and entities that you just don't want. Everybody has them. It is not unique. It's racing thoughts. It's many energies affect you. Let me know how I can help. My name is Dawn the Awakener. I'm with Magic Hands Reiki. Find me online. I also offer Reiki certification classes, and please follow along on my website. Sign up for the newsletter because I have plans for different groups right now. So I'm excited to roll all of this out because we got a lot of work to do, kids. I love you all. Have a great day.